Okay, we good? You sure? Cool! Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to another live stream. I have not done these in a month. I do apologize that I am doing these not as often as I used to. It's mostly because when I do them on Wednesdays, I run out of energy in the day. And I really struggle to get these out there. Maybe I'll find it a day where it's less of a problem, where I'm not as busy. But I'm going to try to get these more out there for you guys because I know how much you guys love these live streams and enjoy what we do here. So this is just going to be your typical live stream. I'm just going to move that so you don't see the crappy green screen. Just your typical live stream. Nothing too special, nothing too fancy. And I'm just going to answer some questions, open some fan mail, and we're just going to talk. And don't worry, this isn't a Patreon or you don't have to do the whole super chat. We're pretty good right now. If you want to, you're more than welcome to, but we're mostly going to try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. So how's everybody's New Year been? Good to see you, Emma Clark. Good to see you, James and Sailor Jupiter fan 2001. Cold Chaos, and also a big hello to all of our new subscribers after the Angry Video Game Nerd fiasco we had for New Year's. Thank you all so much for watching that. Believe it or not, that is now our highest viewed grossing episode on a weekend, I think. I think that thing pulled in I want to say maybe 3,000-4,000 views just on that opening weekend, which was fantastic. We really needed a hit, guys. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for watching that finale. And let me know your thoughts if you guys like the finale and whatnot. I thought it came out pretty well. A little behind the scenes story of how all that came around was that, yeah, we're getting close to 18,000 subscribers, Oasis the God. How that came about was James and I had been talking about doing a crossover episode for over a year and a half, I think, discussing, because I told him kind of early on when GVK was starting up and getting into post-production that I asked him, do you want to do a collab? Do you want to do a review or something? And we've been kind of tinkering around with it. And we were thinking, okay, well, we'll do it when the movie comes out. But then, obviously it was pushed back a year. I'm like, okay, no worries. And then COVID hit. And then that happened. So time progressed. We were wondering, when the hell are we going to do this? My normal rule with current movies is that I wait till they come out on DVD and Blu-ray. And that was the case with GVK. So I knew I wanted to maybe wait till December and make that the finale. It was also a matter of the script itself. James and I were talking about doing a full collab, but then his schedule was going pretty cuckoo at the time. So he told me, if you can condense it down, it'd be fine. I'm like, oh, perfect. That's great. Just the fact I get to work with him is enough. And eventually what happened is that it just worked out. He actually filmed it right when he finished the 200th episode, which is really cool. I thought that was really rad of him to finish it right when he finished it up. So if you notice kind of the continuity with AVGN episode 200 and then the GVK review, they're pretty much in the same time frame, which is pretty rad. So that's kind of how it came about. And big thank you to him at Cinemassacre and those guys. They kick ass. I've been watching them since high school, and they're the reasons I got into doing movies and reviews and stuff on this channel. But quite frankly, without them, I wouldn't have this job. And another big thank you, quite frankly, to Doug Walker, Nostalgia Critic. Those guys at Channel Awesome have been recently very supportive. I've been on their Twitch a lot, and they're always plugging my stuff. So kudos to those guys, which is awesome. But anyway, so yeah, we're just going to shoot the shit. I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update on that. And then another update that's happening is what is it? Oh god, what is it? The season 7. What is happening with season 7? So basically right now, there is some good news and bad news. Right now we are developing season 7, and I've got the first episode hopefully coming out maybe in 2 weeks, not 100%, but it is almost done. The clip portion, I'm probably going to shoot the live segments tomorrow. And I think you guys are going to like what we have planned for the first episode. It's something I've been wanting to maybe talk about for a while now. And so that's something to look forward to. And then we're just going to be going as we go along, because the only downside is right now, Ontario did go under another lockdown for stupid reasons. Even though we're all getting vaccinated, yeah, Omicron cases are up, but it's not as bad. I also found out the trick to beating COVID is everybody has to just go outside and stay outside for a month. So basically, everybody go camping. and get your vaccines. But to the point is that, you know, we have ways to handle this now. We've kind of had 2 years of figuring out what the pattern is, and we kind of have it down to where we can actually maybe get productions going, which is fantastic. So we just need to figure out what the rinse repeat formula was. How long is COVID going to be around? It's going to be around for a long time, so we just have to work around that schedule. So it's happening. We're all good. Everything's fantastic. So that's happening. And no, I'm not going to have any guests on this live stream. This is just me shitting the shit. So there's that. But anyway, yeah, so it was just good to get that finale out there and really start. We got starting production on season 7. I'm talking with people for casting. I'm talking with people who can get us some certain connections and stuff. Basically, if you guys want to know kind of what the condensity of everything's going to be, the next few months of episodes, like we're going to try to get maybe 1 or 2 episodes a month, are going to be very condensed episodes. They're not going to be too big and epic, but you'll see why. The plot's not really going to fully pick up until maybe May, June. No promises. Again, it depends on the COVID scenario. But we got plans for the story to know where the character BigJackFilms as a reviewer is going. So that is happening. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that finale because that was fantastic. So anyway, fan mail time. Mail call. We got 2 pieces of mail here. I'll say this. One I already opened, and I believe it's from the same guy. No, this one's from a different person. Now, this fan had actually sent us, I already opened the package. He had sent us a couple of Blu-rays. I can't remember what I did with them, but he sent me 2 Doctor Who movies I do have to take a look at that he sent on Blu-ray. Now, I've never watched Doctor Who in my life. God, I can't find those fucking movies. Anyway, so I've never watched Doctor Who, but he convinced me. He sent me 2 Blu-rays, so I'll probably look at them as an opening night. But I got the first opening night to do is a request by Razorblade. He actually supports our Patreon, which, guys, go check out the link below. And yeah, just that's something I'm going to be working on next is an opening night for a movie that Razorblade did recommend. So with that said, here's one from a fan. And he also sent, and here's basically what he said. He said, "Dear BigJackFilms, enclosed is a $20 check for a King Kong fan film," which we did send out to you, man. I did get this that copy of the film sent out to you, so thank you so much for that $20. For King Kong fan film on VHS, hope to see you soon on June 2nd on my birthday. Please, request. Also, I can do my best Dalek voice. Okay, so if I need a Dalek voice, I'll definitely reach out to you. I also can play a doctor and a villain. Okay, yeah, you know what? I will look into this. It's mostly requested stuff. But he did send a couple of pieces of fan art, which I absolutely love. These are fantastic. One is basically... this one is sort of like Doctor Who and the Eighth Wonder of the World starring Marty McFly. So it's Marty McFly as one of the doctors, the Time Lords, and there's like all of Godzilla and Kong there. There's some great fan art here. This one has, okay, this is hilarious. Wow! Okay, you know, I didn't notice this. This is awesome. He sent us a pencil sketch poster of our Kong remake with Brett, Charles, and Jake, and Sylvan, everybody, which, by the way, I have been reaching out to those guys. They actually want to come on to a live stream at some point. If you guys want to see the cast of Kong come in for like a little interview, let us know. Which, by the way, guys, the movie's almost at 1 million views. Finally. Let's get to 1 million. But anyway, as you can see, there's the fan art. That's really well done. I am very impressed with that. There's a Voyage in Space piece of art with Godzilla, which is pretty cool. That's actually, I don't think I've ever seen this one. I don't know what this is all about. That's pretty rad. And then there's one, Chapman and his flying robot. So, okay, that's pretty cool that there's fan art right there. So that's me, I guess. And that's my giant mech robot, which I don't know why my mech robot looks like that, but that's pretty cool. Really great fan art here. And then I guess this is me as a Were-Kong, I guess. The Were-Kong idea. So there's all that. That's pretty freaking rad. I really like the fan art that fan sent me. But we got another piece of fan art, and this is from John Dell. So big thank you to John Dell for the fan art, the $20, and the film is being sent to you. If you guys would like a copy, we got plenty of these going around. If you guys want a copy of my movie on VHS, just, shoot us a fan mail with the cash, or, send us PayPal and whatnot. But you can get this and we'll ship it to you. I also do have my Amazon wish list on hand if you guys want to check out that, if you want, just for shits and giggles. And also, I should show these because I haven't shown you guys these. So these are not for sale. I should point that out because of reasons. I had made these out of sheer boredom. So if you guys saw my Kong VHS, I'll pull that up too. If you guys saw my Kong VHS, it is the movie fully on VHS. It's got all the Blockbuster stickers and everything, like Jumbo Video and Rogers Video, which are two Canadian video store chains back in the day. But there it is. This is the movie on VHS. But I did make these two, and I have no plans of making these actually sellable. I did these on my own personal time, but I made a VHS copy of my Star Wars trilogy reviews. Yeah, this is the whole 3 reviews in one VHS tape. And I basically kind of made it look like the old school stuff. So that's pretty awesome that I can able to convert this to VHS. There's some of reviews I've thought about doing for VHS and sending it out to fans. And then this one I made, the Dragon Ball Evolution 100th episode VHS. It's meant to mimic the old Funimation VHS tapes. But as you can see, these are pretty rad. I really like how these kind of came out. And yeah, just wow. Like, I'm really impressed with how those came out. I'm doing good, Toku Prime. Good to see you. Wow, we got a lot of people on here tonight. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I have the technology, Emma Clark, to make VHS tapes of digital stuff. So it's actually pretty awesome. Anyway, so we have our third piece of fan mail. This one is, I think, from an anonymous source. But let's see what is in here. What's in the package, man? By the way, the mailing address is still going to be the same. So if you guys want to send us fan mail, fan art, and gifts, donations, whatnot, questions, you can so at this address, BigJackFilms, PO Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. Link in the, addresses in the description down below, and just shoot us whatever you want. So there you go. Yeah, I did hear about Betty White. That's sad. There's no letter, but there is a movie. 2 movies. Again, I'm gonna have to put these on opening night because I guess these are requested. Our anonymous source sent us the I think I have the first one on DVD somewhere, but I have not seen the first one in years, probably since DVD, when it just came out. I know it's sort of this cult classic, the first one. I haven't seen the second one, and I haven't seen any of the others, but I might take a look at these because, fans send me this kind of stuff. And what's really funny is, what is it? It's funny because I remember the most thing about the live action Scooby-Doo movie was there was a teaser trailer that came out a year before it came out, and it was promoting at first everybody thought it was the 5th Batman. It was Batman Triumphant. And I remember seeing this in the theaters in like 2001, I think. And I was like, oh my God, they're making Batman 5. Yes, let's get Nightwing and Scarecrow and all this shit. I was really hyped. And then it turned out to be a Scooby-Doo movie. I was like, I remember looking at that teaser in the theater and being like, oh, fuck you. I was so pissed off. But I might take a look at this. I have not... Actually, you know what? I know who exactly sent this. I see you in the chat. Thank you, Tyler Fish. Thank you for sending me this movie. Really appreciate it. I will look at it for an opening night. There's a lot of backlog movies on my opening nights. I've got one for a Razor Blade Patreon request. I've got 2 Doctor Who movies, and then these are going to go on the list as well. So a big thank you on that. We're going to get definitely on those as soon as possible. We've just been so backlogged on getting other videos done, which is good. But we're going to get on that. In fact, I might start watching them tonight, which is cool. So that is... Oh, there's something in... what's that, Tyler? What's that, Tyler? Open the disc. There's something else inside. Oh, God. Dear Marty, if my calculations are correct. Oh, dear. Very clever. I was thinking, like, that was it, the movie? Okay, this is cool. So it comes with, like, 2 movies. Oh shit! It's all okay. This is what I like about these DVDs. I just want to say, Tyler Fish, I love the fact that they fit 2 movies on 1 disc now. It's no longer this, oh, flip the disc to see what's next. It's like, thank you. Stop making me flip the discs on that shit, Warner Brothers. Okay, what is in here? Of course, you hit a little secret louder. It was given to this address to not be opened at this specific date, November 12th, 1955. We had a little bet to see if this Marty McFly would show up. Looks like I lost. Did you say 30 years? Oh, man. I have not read the Mexican King Kong comics. Okay, what do we got? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Fan art. Great. Let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, these are cool. I do like the fan art. What do we got here? Okay, first of all. Okay, that's amazing. So, I love these sort of marker arts. Markers or whatever. My brain froze there. It's Draco versus Smog. That is awesome. I mean, Smog is essentially bigger, but Draco, I could see them fighting. That would be pretty cool. Superpower beatdown or death battle. Make that a thing. There is one of Dragon, which is pretty cool. I really like that. Is amazing. Like, that is so cool, Tyler. That is some great fan art. Guys, go send some love to Tyler. Like, go send some support and subscribe to him. He's got some really great artwork. Like, I love this stuff, the stuff he sends. Then we have Ray Bradbury's The Fog, which, the Foghorn, which I haven't, this was the inspiration for Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, right? I believe? Yeah, like, that's kind of where they based it on. So, there's that. That's really good. Like, the detail you put in, man, is fantastic. And then we have, The Mummy. Is that supposed to be Tom Cruise? That's hilarious. That's really good. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Tyler. Really appreciate it. Guys, go check out his channel. If you probably, want to, if you guys want him to do artwork for you, he'll do it. Man, I would love, Tyler, to see some BigJackFilms fan art based on this. So, thank you so much, man. Again, a big thank you to everybody who sends us fan mail and letters and everything. We keep everything. We actually want to do, somewhere in the studio, we want to do a collage of, like, all the artwork that has been sent to us the last few years, because we really do appreciate it, guys. It's fantastic, the stuff you give. So, we got a little bit of time. Let's, ask questions in chat. So what do we got? I've been thinking about maybe making a fan film called Godzilla vs. Cobra. Ooh! Okay, so, like, Cobra fights Godzilla? You know what? I could kind of see that. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe have it where, like, they want to weaponize him. They can't control him. And then Godzilla attacks Cobra. And then the Joes try to figure out what the hell to do. Like, that'd be pretty fucking rad. I'd like to see that. Because there is a lot of G.I. Joe in the Legendary Monsterverse. You ever guys notice that they feel like G.I. Joe movies, like the Apex and the what is it, the Nature Terrorist Organization, the second Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters, very Cobra-esque. Like, put Charles Dance as Cobra, or like Charles Dance as Dr. Mindbender would be great. And then get Cobra Commander in there somehow. Have I read the Predator versus Tarzan comics by Dark Horse? I have not. I don't really read that many comics. My hairline is fucking awful, by the way. I don't read that many comics, except for, like, Batman comics occasionally, but nothing of the sort in terms of just, like, a bunch of comics. I'm not much of a comic book guy. Sure, the movie. Let's see. Have you read the Batman 89 comics? I have known most of the spoilers. I did want to read them, but I could never find them. And normally with comics, I usually wait till the essentials come out, where it's like all the issues in one book. That's normally what I do when it comes to, if I'm going to read a comic book. I'm going to wait till the full book comes out and not just issues. Yeah, G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe's good, Tyler. Really, really good show. But yeah, so it's there's a lot going on. What are my favorite Batman crossover comics? Says Dr. Waluigi. I think, what are some of my favorites? I mean, I like anything with Batman versus Alien and Predator because Batman Dead End was an amazing fan film. So just seeing anything with those guys is great. I think, I read it once. I can't vaguely remember it. There was a Batman comic where Batman met Spider-Man. I'm waiting for that movie. I would love to see, you know what'd be great? Get Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and Michael Keaton as Batman, and get Danny Elfman to do a collage of both the Burton theme and the the Sam Raimi Spider-Man theme. That would be great. Like, that's what I want to see. There is a really good comic book crossover of those two together. So that's one I've read I really like. I remember this is a funny story. This is sort of like a way back flashback story. But I remember when the Batman movies were coming out in the 90s, I was in like kindergarten, right? And I remember there was one of those, this was back in the 90s, right? There was one of those like community stage shows that they do for kids. Like, you remember when you were a kid, you go to the auditorium and you would see like a show like that McDonald's would bring in, or something about, don't do drugs, stay fit, blah, blah, blah. Like those PSA live shows that they show in like elementary school and shit. If you guys remember those, let me know. But I remember in like the late 90s, mid-late 90s, there was at the time, television, in terms of kids watching too much TV, was a huge controversial issue back then. And so there were all these school educational programs that were trying to say, hey, guys, don't watch too much TV. Don't watch too much Fox Kids. Don't watch too much Power Rangers. It might rot your brain and make you violent. Although, to be fair, real-life violence, I think, brings in real-life violence in real-life people. Anyway, to the point, there was a stage show that I remember. They were trying to make it sort of like Captain N. The plot was basically Captain N, the Game Master, where a kid plays too many video games and he gets sucked into the game world. But this one was where this kid watches way too much television that he gets sucked into the TV world, and he's sucked to all these different film universes. And this was I'm not kidding. This was a real live show. And maybe this is where the spark of the FDT concept came from, was when I was in kindergarten watching this. Because, okay, this is kind of weird and trippy. I mean, it's a community stage show. It's going to look like shit. But there were like flashing lights and everything, right? And all of a sudden, the kid ends up in Gotham City. Again, crappy stage show, but just go with it. And Batman's there. And it's a guy in a legit, like, Batman Forever bat suit. Like the ones they were selling, like the collector's bat suits and shit. But it was like a community Batman you invite for parties and shit. And that was cool. I was like, oh shit, Batman's here. Awesome. I was a dumb kid. But then, because what movie came out around the same time the comic book movies started to really take over Hollywood in like the mid to late 90s? Then Spawn shows up. So yeah, this was Batman versus Spawn on a community stage at my elementary school. At that point, the message went away. Who cared if we were watching too much TV? Batman and Spawn were meeting each other. This was the coolest shit ever as a kid. This was the coolest shit. The message went away, and all the kids got flipped out because, oh my God, it's Batman. Oh my God, it's Spawn. And they literally, the writing, I remember vaguely, but the writing on this show was actually like really good, like crossover stuff. And what was really funny is that Batman just has this sort of revelation. He's fighting this guy. And what happens is that he ends up, like fighting him, gets his ass kicked. He goes back to the Batcave, and there's a guy doing Alfred. And Batman's like, oh, Alfred, I had to deal with the weirdest villain I've ever come across. It's a guy, he called himself Spawn. And Alfred's like, Spawn, Master Bruce. Like, it was legit, like on stage. Like this whole show, I think they spent way too much time on the script. They spent way too much time on the script and completely missed the message, right? So at the end of it, I guess Spawn and Batman get along. There's a bunch of other characters and shit. And then freaking Robin shows up at the end. But the point was, I guess the message they were trying to get across to kids at the time was, don't watch too much television. It might rot your brain, stay in school. But again, the message was ruined because At that point, as kids, we didn't give a fuck about these characters, about the story, the message. We gave a fuck that Batman was there. We gave a fuck that Spawn was there. We gave a fuck that Alfred and Robin and all this shit. Who cared? And the message was completely lost. Now, I have no evidence of this show. I have no proof of the show. It was a community show. It was actually done all here. Like, I remember it being here in Toronto. But I don't have any recollection of the show. It is just a memory stored in the back hard drives of my head. And I wish I could find a way to describe it to you guys, because this shit was wild. Do you guys ever have that, where you have that one memory from your childhood and you have no photographic or visual evidence to describe it? I've thought about making that into sort of a series, because you get to see sort of the interlinks of what brings out big ideas later on in your life. I think watching that live show on when I was in kindergarten really was the first spark of the concept of the multiverse for me. Because remember, this was even at the time when I was watching stuff like that. And I remember I had no concept that Spider-Man and X-Men were in the same universe. So when Spider-Man in the animated series went to the X-Men Fox Kids show, that blew my mind as a kid. I was like, what? What? They're in the same what? They're actually what? Like, I had no concept of that shit. Even when the Power Rangers met the Ninja Turtles, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? There was some crazy shit back in the 90s that they were coming up with. Another one, very quickly, and then I'll start answering more questions. I remember there was a winter festival here in Toronto. I can't remember if it was in Mississauga or Toronto or whatnot, but there was a winter festival that my grandparents used to take me to. And, my parents went and everything. It was me and my sister. We went to this winter festival. We were like 4 or 5, right? And I remember it was a winter festival. You go to the sled, the man-made sleds and everything. And it was fun. The snowball fights, make a snowman, all that shit. But it was in an area where they had this stage, like the big auditorium stages for, like, I guess, like little boy bands can enter and just shit like that. Like, there was all this shit going on, like these community celebration things. But at the stage show, it was a winter festival in the heart of the city, in the heart of Toronto. What was the biggest anime to come out back in the mid-90s? Sailor Moon. And there was, I'm not kidding, a live Sailor Moon stage show that was winter-centric. That was an episode of the show with these really good quality costumes. Like, this was like cosplayers back in the 90s, which you don't get that much back then. And I literally remember seeing this. And it was right around the time the show just started. And again, cannot find any photographic evidence, anything of this show. And that sucks that I cannot find these memories. If I did, it would unlock so much more. Which is pretty crazy. I can only kind of piece it together with what I remember in terms of the quality and what was available at the time and what I could research. It's very difficult to do. But anyway, so there's a little kind of way back Wednesday hard drive memory for you. If you guys have any of your own, let me know. Let's see here. Oasis the God, what are your thoughts on the 2014 movie Unfriended? I remember liking it when it came out, but I have not seen it since. But since I saw YourMovieSucks.org's review of it, I did not like it. I actually realized, wow, this is kind of shit. But the message is still good. The message is still very good about it. Don't be a fucking asshole. King Kong Lives or Mighty Peking Man? Both. I can't decide which one is worse. That's what I'm waiting for, Johnny, is because Power Rangers, they're actually just doing a crossover with Godzilla, which is pretty awesome. But I'm waiting to see what they do if they ever, because it actually would make sense because Hasbro now owns both of them. Where is my Autobot Megazord? Like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Autobot Dinozord, like their version of Devastator. Come on, give me that shit. What are some of the scariest movies you have seen, not counting The Descent? So, outside of The Descent, top 2 scariest movies of all time for me. The scariest ghost movie of all time, Poltergeist. not only directed by Tobe Hooper, but produced by Spielberg. And the curse about that, the way it was shot, traumatized me as a kid because I was expecting a Steven Spielberg movie, and what I got was Texas Chainsaw. It was horrifying. So, Poltergeist is one of the scariest movies ever made, as well as, I mean, I like it now as just a classic blockbuster adventure movie, Jaws. Jaws still has great, horrific, suspenseful moments. Those are like the top three. So there's that. Let's see here. Hello, Jack. It's been a while. Hope you had a great Christmas. Happy New Year's. Thank you so much, Morgana. Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas to you too. Justice League or Teen Titans? Both. What about the 2016 Jungle Book movie and Primal for opening night reviews? I have them on the list. Again, it's just been very difficult to find them. In terms of just like I don't have Disney Plus. I refuse to get Disney Plus, and I don't know. I have to find a time to watch that as well. But I do have Primal on the list. So I've got. Let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 7 movies backed up now. Thoughts on Secret of Nim? Believe it or not, I've only seen a few scenes. I've not seen that film fully. Let's see. Have you ever seen movie musicals? I have, Starmaster. And I do like a few of them. I do like, I mean, Sound of Music, I've only seen once, and I thought it was okay. I don't know if Wizard of Oz counts. I like Wizard of Oz. You know what I really like? I like The King and I. You know what? I watched The King and I again recently, about a month ago. And I realized they just don't make big movies like that anymore. And the songs are great in The King and I. Only problem, they remade that movie in 1999 as an animated film, shot for shot. And it was fucking awful. I remember it being pretty well advertised, but I was also kind of shocked because even as a kid, I knew about the original because I watched the original as a kid, the original King and I. And then to see them do a shot-for-shot animated remake, I was stunned. I was like, they can't. Even I was a kid, like a young 6, 7-year-old kid. I'm like, why would you do this? This is stupid. So that's hilarious that they remade that movie, same songs and everything. It was completely pointless. That remake of The King and I, like awful. But one of my favorites, honestly, is I really love the hell out of Oliver. Oliver, from the 60s, I think. Oliver Twist, the best adaptation of the book, and one of the best musicals. Like my family and I used to watch the shit out of Oliver. Great songs, great musical. Like, I like my musicals, but I'm very picky on them. I even just watched Joel Schumacher's Phantom of the Opera, and I've seen it a few times. I actually really do like that film. A lot of people hate it because compared to the musical, it's trash. I actually tend to disagree. I think it's on par with the musical. Love the shit out of Joel Schumacher's Phantom. In fact, that's one of my cosplays. Like, actually, I can pull it out right here. It's literally right here. You see this shit? Because I had plans to do a cosplay shoot of this out in the snow in a graveyard. This is my Phantom cosplay. I worked on this over the pandemic. It was really easy to do. But the best part is, you know what? I'll bring it back. Hang on. You guys want to see something really fucking rad? Let's trip there. You guys want to see something really fucking rad? So I have my Phantom cosplay. But the main reason I made the Phantom cosplay, because that was easy. But what I really wanted to make was this. This is my own custom rapier of the Phantom of the Opera's rapier from the movie. Because in the movie, I mean, in the Broadway musical and shit, they don't really establish what his sword is. It's just a typical stage sword. But given it's Joel Schumacher, and he likes to be over-stylized with his movies, what I love about the Phantom sword in that, and I call it the Phantom sword, which is an amazing name for a sword. It's a rapier. It's a simple rapier, but it's got a skull's top guard on it. So all I did was I bought an antique fencing sword, antique foil. So it's online for like $10, and I spray painted the blade silver. I spray painted it silver, and I added a side guard because it's a foil, so they don't come with side guards. But I added a side guard, and I just used picture frame wire from the dollar store and hot glued it all together. And then to add like a little bit of an extra like end piece, like a knob at the end, which most rapiers have, I just bought a door hanger, like a door coat hanger thing, and glued that on there. And what's cool is that when you hold it, let me just see here if I can do it right. Your thumb can actually rest on this extra side. So there you go. Now the skull, what it was is that I had to go to a Halloween was pretty much gone. So, or wasn't, it was even before Halloween. I bought a plastic skull, like a human skull, plastic, and I just cut half of it off, and like just cut it, and then just drilled the hole right where the nose socket is, because I made sure to be accurate to the film, and I just slid it on and glued it all together. But that is the Sword of the Phantom, and I love the shit out of this. So when I do a photo shoot, this is going to be the sword I have for photos and for cosplay, because this thing actually really does fucking rock. Like, it is a foil, so it does have a little tip at the end where you can't stab anybody. But for a prop, it's pretty cool prop. So you can be like, let it be war for both of you. You know, love the shit out of that movie, like the Joel Schumacher Phantom. But yeah, I just built that for shits and giggles with my cosplay, and that came out pretty damn well. Anyway, I saw Huey Tumor was on here. Hi, Huey. Good to see you. Really good to see you. Mini series of Trolls. The Trolls Dance was the Phantom? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Do a commentary. You know what? I might go back to commentaries. Because just something to pad out the channel. If you guys want to see certain commentaries, let me know. I might do one on Godzilla vs. Kong, and I might do one on the Kong musical. And I don't really know if I could do one on the locations of Kong, because that's pretty much a commentary in of itself. But yeah, maybe I'll do something with some stuff. Let me know in the comments. Let's see here. Yeah, I did not know that Charles Dance was the Phantom. That's pretty cool. Was it based on the musical though, or was it based on the original film, the original 1920 silent film? Wow, a lot of people. Schumacher's Phantom needed to be ugly, not hot, with a slight sunburn. See, I can let that pass because it was a film of its time. It's the same reason. It's the same thing with the Batman movies, because in those movies, Batman is a hero. He's a hero first and foremost. He's not meant to be this dark, brooding, I'm gonna beat you up because my parents are dead. In this one, it is psychological, but it also is a matter of like, this guy's a hero. He's got to look like Superman. He's got to look buffed up and pretty cool. So with the Phantom, it is meant to be playing to the female crowd. So it's not your monster movie Phantom. It's the chick's Phantom. It is a chick flick, basically. Holy shit, the comments are going by really fast here. Best animated feature category was invented before 2002. Would you think some of Don Bluth's earlier movies? Yes, I think things like Secret of NIMH, American Tail, and Land Before Time would definitely have been nominated back in the 80s. Thoughts on the Never-Ending Story sequels? I can actually answer this question. So I really like the first one. I really dig the hell out of the first one. I watched it a few times the last few years. It's still a damn good movie, the first movie. Do I think they need to remake it? No. I do not think they need to remake it. If anything, if they were to do a remake, they would have to stick much more closer to the book. But I don't think it needs to be remade. That is a classic. Do not touch that movie. I actually don't mind the second film. I really don't mind the second movie. I think it is a bit more accurate to the book and to the characters. And God bless, what's his name? Jonathan Brandis, I think his name was. The poor kid committed suicide like 20 years ago. That was really sad. But that kid was a good actor. But he was Bastian. I actually thought it was a much bigger film. It felt a bit more higher in scale, even though it was a bit more of a lower budget. But what I do remember the most was on the VHS for the movie, it came with a Bugs Bunny short, Box Office Bunny, which was one of the last theatrically released Bugs Bunny cartoons. And I love the shit out of that cartoon. I love the hell out of it. So for me, like, that's the main reason I watched Neverending Story 2, was just to see that cartoon at the beginning. But I do like the sequel. 3, I remember seeing, and I remember it being extremely boring. But then after watching NC's review of it, I kind of don't like it for one thing, but I will say this. The best thing about that movie is Jack Black. I had no idea that was Jack Black, and I was like, oh shit, that's Jack Black. I'm like, you know what? He tried. He had fun with what he was doing. He knew he was in a piece of shit, but he's like, I'm going to have fun with this. In regards to the animated series, I remember that, and I remember being awful. The animated series was awful. And when are people going to talk about that? We all talk about the 3 films, but we never talk about the animated series. Yeah, there was... Oh, he was in Aladdin? The animated series? I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, you know what? If they do it in the style of Dune, where they stick closer to the book, then probably Huey. I would like to see a remake, but I have a couple of requests. Here's what I would do. If they did do a remake of the Neverending Story, you do stick closer to the book. You keep to the same tone as the original. That is a given. And you know what? I mean, you can change the designs. You can do different things. You can add more to the book. But, you know what? I'm going to be honest. Keep the original soundtrack. That's what made the first one great. You know, I think it's sort of like the, I kind of see it in the way they did the 1974 remake of the Mark of Zorro, the Tyrone Power film, with, what's his name? The guy who played Skeletor. And Frank Angela as Don Diego. Because in that one, it is a shot-for-shot remake of the Tyrone Power film, but they use the same soundtrack to the Tyrone Power film. So if you can do a remake, a big-budget remake of the Neverending Story, fine, stick closer to the book, keep the music, and keep the theme song. I know it's 80s. I know it's cheesy, but I don't care. I want to keep the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is one of the best things about the whole piece, basically. You cannot do a remake without the theme song and the soundtrack. I'm sorry. Anyway, I heard about the plans for the American Godzilla for 83. I did, Christopher. I mentioned that in my Godzilla vs. Kong review. I have not seen that, Johnny. Huey can vouch for me, and I plan not to see that movie, because from what I've seen from Huey's review, that movie's a piece of shit. And I will not touch that with a 5.5-foot pole. Oh, that would explain it, Tyler. Oh, that would explain why it sucked. Yeah, you know what, Dr. Waluigi, I agree. One thing I've thought about doing is I really have been wanting to get back into making fan trailers again, because I really dug the hell out of making those. And one of the things I've thought about doing is a fan trailer of what if Lord of the Rings was made in the 80s. And I would use a bunch of 80s fantasy movies to pretty much show what an 80s Lord of the Rings would have looked like. And use footage from Willow, Excalibur, Legend, Labyrinth, Neverending Story. That's how I would do the fan trailer. And I think I have plans to maybe do that. I want to do that down the line. Would I ever go to Spain? Hell yeah, Ed. Spain is one of my goals, especially when things are over. When this is over, I do want to go to Spain. There's a couple of reasons why. It's just a beautiful landscape. A lot of great films were shot there. Actually, there's that... You know, it's funny, because every time I open Google, ever since I did my Zorro 75 review, my Google... Every time I open Google, it shows me images of that castle that they shot at the end of the 75 Spaghetti Western. That is still there in Spain. And I want to go check out that castle. That thing looks pretty. In fact... The thing is, like, going back to, like, cosplay photo shoots, because I want to, while the winter's still good right now, I want to go do a photo shoot of my Phantom cosplay, and I want to shoot at a graveyard in the snow. When it gets warmer out, I'm actually right down the road from a place in Toronto called Casanova. Is it Casanova? I think it's Casanova. And it's basically a actual castle here in Toronto. And I want to go down there, and I want to go film. I want to go, like, do photo shoots in my Zorro cosplay, because I actually have just completely updated it. And I want to go do photo shoots down there in the outfit, so that'd be cool. Or my Captain Phoebus review. Or my Captain Phoebus cosplay. I want to do an audio drama adaptation of The Hobbit done in the styles in 80s fantasy. That'd be cool. Can we get Tangerine Dream to do the music? Or America? That'd be great. What movie did I review that you won't see? What is James talking about? Dinotopia Quest for the Ruby Sunstone. Don't need to watch it. You've already watched it for me. Do not need to see it. Casa Loma, thank you. Sorry, my apologies. I thought it was I cannot misspell things for shit right now. So yeah, Casa Loma, I'm pretty close by. So I might go down there over the summer and get into my Zorro gear and do a really cool photo shoot there. That'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be great. Oh man, we're having a good time here. This is just gonna be a typical Q&A this time around. I've not seen the short film Kung Fury. Although I know about King Kung Fu, I have been very considering reviewing it, but I don't think it's enough to maybe just for the title, but nothing too exciting on that if I ever review that. What is one movie I will never watch? You know what? I'll say it's simple. There are a couple, some of which I won't even name. There's one on Netflix I will not watch. But you know what's one movie I will not watch? Because I've seen most reviews of it. And on top of that, I do not. That's why I kind of don't want to support Disney much right now. Mulan. The remake of Mulan, for production behind the scenes reasons, I will not support that film and I will not support that company. Everybody was saying, oh, it might be good. It might be good. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a shot-for-shot remake. It's not going to be good. Oh, well, it might be good because they're doing it more closer. No. They literally filmed it near places you're not supposed to film, let alone have an existence. So, I will not support that film. Fuck that film. Fuck that. I think that and Cruella are the worst things that company ever put out. They are far worse than Hunchback 2, which I consider the worst thing Disney ever made. Now that is a field trip in comparison to those two awful shit stains on the company. So, you know what? I'll be the better man. Cruella and Mulan, they are the worst things that company ever made. You know what? I'd rather watch Song of the South. I'd rather watch that. At least it's that songs are catchy. At least there's good songs and good animation. But not these two horrible live-action pieces of shit. Fuck those pieces of shit. Fuck those two movies. Fuck them. Let's see. Well, the thing is, too, Huey, I mean, even if it wasn't a shot-for-shot remake, it's still bad. That's the problem. It's still bad. Because, you know, just behind-the-scenes factors. They shot it in locations that should not exist in humanity right now. But Disney did it anyway. They did it anyway, and that's my problem. They let it slide. They could have told the company, no, you're not shooting there, we're pulling the plug. But they said, no, fuck it, we need the money. I just, no, I will not support a company that does that. Not Mulan 2. You know what? Mulan 2 is better than the live-action Mulan. There, I said it. Anyway, so there's essentially my rant about the live-action movies. There's another one of those. Cruella was the worst thing I've ever seen that company make. That was kind of the final straw, because it's not only a Joker ripoff, it's just the origin story is utterly stupid. That I lost brain cells knowing that a Dalmatian murdered Cruella's mother, and that's why she decided to skin puppies alive. In fact, I turned it off half after that happened. What do you suggest people see The Lost World 1925, despite how dated? Yes, I would. Because of historical preferences, because it is very educational on the history of film. That was the first big special effects movie that involved dinosaurs. Like, you could argue Gertie the Dinosaur was the first dinosaur movie ever put out, but The Lost World, I consider that because that was the best. Emma Clark says, I'm not excited about the Peter Pan remake. You know, here's my problem with it. I don't know what's gonna. I want to know what. I want to see a trailer first. But here's my assumption: it's not going to be the original, and it's not going to be the 2003 film, and it's definitely not going to be Hook. That's a given. Like, they're not gonna. It's not going to be either. It's going to be its own thing. Now, could it be better than Pan? Probably. It could probably be better than Pam. But is it going to be good as the other incarnations? Probably not. And the other issue is, given Disney's track record, I'm going to call it. You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen in this remake? Wendy's not going to need pixie dust to fly. She's OP. She's OP. She's able to fly on her own. And everybody's like, how can she fly on her own? No reason. Just because. Strong, independent woman. It's going to happen. And then it's going to be, she's the real Pan. Fuck you, Peter. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. I just get a feeling they're going to do that. And when I do that, you guys can come back here and tell me I called it. I'm just going to call it. They're going to do that. They're going to let her fly on her own free will with no need for happy thoughts and no need for pixie dust. And she's going to be on par with Peter. In fact, Peter will give up the flying powers. It's going to happen. Now, do I think Jude Law is going to make a good Captain Hook? Maybe. I actually want to see what he does with that. I really want to see what Jude Law does with Captain Hook. But again, it's not going to be Jason Isaacs, and it's not going to be Dustin Hoffman. Let's see what happens. Best gangster crime movies you've ever watched. I can answer this one. I got two questions that I really like. The first one, crime ones. I really like Scarface. I really like Scarface. And there was one that came out a couple of years ago. I don't think it was Gangster Squad. It might have been. There was one with a group of guys in the 1930s who, at the very end of the movie, these heroes have to go in and storm this castle, basically, but it's like a bunch of bad guys and gangsters in this tower, and they have to go up the tower and just shoot up the place with Tommy guns. I remember seeing it with my dad, and I really liked it. But that, I can't remember what that movie was, but that was a really good one. I really love the hell out of Scarface. I watched that again. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. And you know what? I haven't seen it in years. I can't really recommend it because I haven't seen it in a while, because at the time I didn't understand it, the Godfather trilogy. I need to rewatch it again because as a kid, I didn't understand it, but I think now I can. It's just the problem is they are extremely long. And I don't know if I can do the whole thing in one sitting. So there's the Godfather. And then there's one here I really liked. Question was, least favorite Steven Spielberg movie. Okay, this is gonna raise some hairs because I love the man to death. Let me name the one I don't like the most. I fucking hated Lincoln. Yeah, I hated Lincoln. Absolutely was bored out of my mind watching that. You know what? There's two movies I don't like. I don't like Lincoln, and I don't like War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds was pointless. War of the Worlds is outdated. Nothing beats the original. I thought I've been to the set at Universal. That was pretty cool. But the movie is awful. The movie is not well shot. The movie's effects are not good at all. They look cool, but they don't look good. I did not like that one. I did not like the remake of War of the Worlds. And then Lincoln was just boring. It was one of the most boring movies I've ever seen from a mainstream director. And the problem is that it was so dull, it was so gray, it was so lifeless. And then the most key aspect of the story they didn't even show. And I was really pissed off. Like, I was really pissed off at the fact I couldn't see the central point of the story. It was told off screen. Bullshit. And that's where I gave up and said, this is the worst Steven Spielberg movie ever made. So, for me, that is the worst one. I'm sorry, I don't like Lincoln. Thoughts on the upcoming Little Mermaid remake? I really don't care. I don't know. Again, I want to see what a trailer's like. I really won't judge a film until I see a trailer, because they can do whatever they want, but I want to see a trailer first. I don't know what the whole hassle is. I don't see the point of it. And again, my theory is, I say this too about, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 Zorro projects in the works right now. Because Sony's doing a Django Zorro movie with Quentin Tarantino. Disney Plus is doing a new TV series that I guess is returning to form with the Guy Williams series. There's also another Zorro project involving a modern-day Zorro who's like a hacker, I guess. And then you have a new Zorro TV series being done by Robert Rodriguez that is a female Zorro, which we already had. And then Sony pulled the plug on that because it was copyrighted. So there are all these different projects being made. And I think the thing is, for me, is that even if, like, it's good we have new Zorro content to come out soon. That's fantastic. But if they all end up sucking, which my money's on that, they're probably not going to be good. They're not anything promising to me. The only thing is that at least we have Banderas and at least we have Alain Delon. But so with the remake of The Little Mermaid, if it's not good, we still have the original. And that's about it. My hair is a fucking mess. Like, look at this. Like, this, all the splits and everything are awful. I gotta fix that. So there's that. So I'm going to answer 3 more questions. I'm going to call it a night. Just because I do want to get back to work. And my nose is feeling a little stuffy tonight. Do not know why. Let's see here. What do you think should happen with the King Kong movies in the future? I like this question. So, for me, what I would like to see is, given we are now essentially in a multiple project world of films where not one person owns the rights, you can do whatever you want, you can have fun with the material. We've got 3 Batmans in 2 movies coming out this year. We've got all this shit going on. I think the door is open, the floodgates are open to where people can just make whatever they want. And especially with Kong entering the public domain soon, I think it is a good time for certain Hollywood filmmakers to dust off the old files and finally adapt things like The Legend of King Kong and Kong 96. Like, that's what I want to see. And, in fact, I want a biopic on Willis O'Brien, Marion C. Cooper, and, in fact, I want a biopic on the Dino De Laurentiis remake. Those are, essentially, for me, the main ones I want to do, basically. Let's see here. So that's what I want to see happen. Oh shit, getting the thing. Potential for an American Gamera movie. This is question number 2. Potential for American Gamera movie. I think if they could include I think that's the next step after Godzilla vs. Kong. If they can somehow include Gamera in the MonsterVerse, I think that's the next step. If Warner Brothers can do that, they have another big hit on their hands. If they can do Godzilla vs. Gamera, they'd have to get the rights from Daiei, but I don't know. It could be possible. In fact, I want Godzilla vs. Cloverfield. If Warner Brothers and Paramount can team up with J.J. Abrams and do like a Godzilla vs. Cloverfield movie, I love the hell out of that. We are in the multiverse, people. The multiverse is real. Let's see here. Okay, so this is going to be the last question of the day because I do have to take off. Curious question from Vanilla Spinella. I like that name. Would you ever consider remaking your Kong fan film with a big budget in the future? It is very complicated. I mean, if the studios wanted to come up to me and say, you can make whatever you want, like if Warner Brothers or Universal said you can make whatever you want, I would want to redo it. But this time I would actually do a couple of things different. For one, I would definitely be conflicted if I want to include it in the present time, or would I want to do it where it is 1933, but I want to adapt the 1996 script? Because those are the 2 projects I've been very flipped on. In fact, funny enough, as a little side project, I've been considering doing the 96 production as a Lego film, going back to my roots as a YouTuber and doing a Lego video, like doing another Lego film again. But I'm just right now slowly investing in the props and stuff I need for that. So, would I do it? Maybe I would, but I don't. It's not in my future right now. I think I finally found a niche with my projects because most people are like, when are you going to do another feature? When are you going to do another short film? When are you going to do this Inuyasha project? I think with my show, it does give me the advantage to tell these stories and tell these films using my show as a base point, as a base plate to build up on that, to make that happen. And it has been very beneficial. And it's because of you guys who have been watching it, who have been focusing on the plot, focusing on the story, investing in it, is where it all shines. So I think that's where it's going to go, is especially with the Inuyasha project. I'm just going to make it part of my show because right now, with everything going on in the world, it's kind of very much up in the air if big projects can ever be like to that scale. And because I've just invested and built so much on the series, is that's where I think it's going to go, is eventually to that era, to that kind of point. And I'm just more comfortable with it because it's more condensed, it's easier to do, and I feel like in a way, doing things like the Star Wars projects, like the Con reviews, like Jaws Month, and so on, they allow me to make these films in constraint conditions and still get my point across. And that's where it kind of lies. So that's sort of where I think the future is going to be for me in terms of just if I ever make anything big. Like, if anything, if I get big on YouTube and then a studio said, we want to make the BigJackFilms movie, fuck yeah, I'm getting that done. That's going to be my next feature, if anything. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's just right now, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. And I do want to definitely invest in more projects, more big projects with more creators, and especially with more people locally in the cosplay community and acting community, because it can't just be me doing every character. I want to try to actually expand out, especially now we're kind of reaching hopefully a mid-end to COVID where it's not going to be as shut down as the last 2 years have been. So there's that basically. I think we're in a good spot, and it's just prepping right now for the summer productions. That's going to be the plan, is to film all my big projects in the summer. So if I don't do live streams around that time, apologies in advance because I am focusing on those. So yeah, that's it for this live stream, guys. It's just a simple Q&A to kind of get back to basics. I did want to give you something over the Wednesdays, because I do try to do Wednesday streams. But again, thank you so much. If you guys want to go support the channel, go to our Patreon, mail us at our mailing link, which is in the description. Follow us on social media, and tune in tomorrow. I've got one more fan trailer that I worked on about a month ago that I'm finally putting out. And then tune in Friday for a little video that kind of maybe gives you a hint of what's to come. So until then, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. BigJackFilms signing off, and I will see you guys later. This is just a simple live stream, and yeah, just take it easy. I think we're in a good spot. So until then, take it easy. Bye.